that I had an incorrect stream key. It's okay. Gonna be a bit of a weird person to one more at live. I had the incorrect stream key somehow not fully pasted. Actually live now. Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing. I'm a perfect streamer, would never do any mistakes, oh god. But yeah, we are now live here, actually having the two matches coming up, being LXT vs Mörkös as well as Miles vs Sharky. So far we haven't seen Mörkös play at all. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say. Well, we have seen him play against Jedi Evan, but we haven't really seen him play, is what I mean. You know, compared to other parts, or like other players that you've seen play a lot in DCL Champions League. Yeah, not the case so far here. But, of course, that doesn't mean that we can't take a look here at... I guess it's the brackets and the current standing, so they are... is this actually what I wanted to show? Oh, this is so confusing. Maybe we can take a small look at the matchups and stuff like that. The match lists, I guess it's called. As we do have it here. And yeah, you can see that Mörkös and... like... it's kind of confusing. LXT is playing against Mörkös here. And yeah, it's a huge bracket essentially. And yeah, okay, at least Mörkös is also online, so let's take a quick look here at the intro movie. And boom, here are our players. On the left we have LXT, on the right we have Mörkös. LXT, of course, is well known here in the Tetris scene. He is also, of course, known in the DCL scene. He's not been the most active, I would say, but you know, he has played in DCL Champions League 1 or 2 matches before. He has for example, I believe he has also participated in the Jonas Cup. And yeah, when I said he has played a few matches before, I mean here in the this season, in the last season, he also played where he won quite a lot. So yeah, he is well known. Mörkös pretty much only played 1 match against Jedi Evan so far, but he is of course also known as one of the best players in the PAL DCL Tetris scene. There's also now the base seed for this matchup in the chat. The base seed is gonna be 5-1, A2, 4A. Yeah, let's see how these players will be able to do here today. You can actually see that both of them are warming up here on level 29 now. Earlier Mörkös warmed up on level 19. You know, 19 is kind of the fastest that you can actually play as a DCL player. Whereas 29 is what you are pretty much used to as a roader. And some DCL players can get a few lines in, but yeah, you can't really expect more than 3 or 4 lines normally speaking. Yeah, also LXT still has this, or like LXT's family still has their Christmas tree up. Nice to see that there are also families like ours where we just have them up for a bit longer than I guess you're supposed to. Like here in Germany we have Christmas tree collection services, and they are like early January, like the 2nd week or so of January, and then you're I mean, not supposed to, but then you can just give them your Christmas tree and they, you know, bring it to the proper trash for you. And yeah, of course. So for the players, feel free to get ready whenever you wanna play. From my side, we can just start the match. I mean, of course, also don't feel rushed towards needing to get ready. Or just as a general reminder that, you know, from my side, all is good. Yeah, LXT is showing us some nice flat placements of the longbow for flat burns. I love to see that. You know, this is when you, or how you can tell that someone is well known to that. And LXT as stunning Ryan in the chat saying good luck Mörkös. Mörkös saying good luck, have fun, as we always love to see. Okay, let's make sure Mörkös' seat is correct. 5-1, 5-1, 8-2, 8-2 for A4, A4, yep, looks good. Also looks good on LXT's side, and welcome in the chat, Nitzrek. Let's start the countdown here. It's gonna be a 3, 2, 1 Tetris. And let's see how this base seat is gonna be. And thanks for the follow. Both players have started. Mörkös avoiding the burn here in the beginning. Getting the next J piece perfect. And first Tetris to Alex, first Tetris to Mörkös. Of course, we don't expect level 18 to be any issue here for these players. They are pretty nice double tuck here on Alex's side. How is that possible as with theirs? Okay, did not expect that, but amazingly well played here. I want to say level 18, don't expect them to have any issues here. Maybe, you know, if you got long routes, of course, but generally speaking, level 18 should be pretty easy for these players. You might see them do a few burns here, like on Mörkös' side currently. You know, not the cleanest tech, but also not having any issues getting the spins that are required. And yeah, just some nice cleanup here now on Mörkös' side. Of course, LXT was able to get a bit ahead due to that. It is now 114 against 74. Mörkös looks like he's trying to go for dirty Tetris, gets the longbar Tetris now for Mörkös into 98. Alex here to burn a few lines here, so Alex wasn't able to get ahead further, but now here's the next longbar for Alex, next longbar for Mörkös. And yeah, it's a bit less than a Tetris lead here for Alex, so it's pretty much a neck and neck situation between these two players here. And here's the next longbar Tetris to Alex, as well as the next longbar Tetris to Mörkös. Oh, and nearly a perfect clear on Alex's side, just 2 minus left at the bottom. Of course, a perfect Tetris. Tetris doesn't give you any extra points for that, it's just the style that you do. Same when it comes to, for example, T-spins. What's another advanced move that you can do in modern Tetris? There's T-spins. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, combos. Combos aren't a thing in classic Tetris, it's just play as many Tetrises as you can to get as many points as possible. And here's now the next Tetris to Mörkös, doing exactly what I just said. Alex, we can see, is now playing a bit high. Could try to play dirty. It would be a 3 high. It's not gonna be too many lines to clean up, so yeah. Alex instead is just gonna decide to clean up, to play a bit safer. Actually, noticeably safer. 3 high is quite aggressive on 18 as a desk player, I would say. And yeah, 281 against 282 at the same lines. So it is neck and neck, but Mörkös now was able to get ahead by a few thousand points. Now that LXT had to burn, you know, that bit more. We're also getting close to the like halfway point of level 18, or pretty much the halfway point of 18. And we can see a double 600k is possible. So both players here on massive pace so far. Like, we don't see double 600k that often. Yeah, so far Mörkös is getting a bit high now. Can play around that, getting the next longband Tetris to Mörkös. Alex fell behind a bit in points and in stream having stopped now. Yeah, stream is back, perfect. It is 333 for Alex against 397 here for Mörkös. Alex needs to burn quite a lot. He has quite high. Gets next TPs over perfect. Right side of Alex now wants a long bar soon, or a nice way to burn, but getting the long bar perfect. Nice to be on Alex's side. Getting the next S piece perfect. Getting nice placement here of that L piece on Alex's side. Allows him to get the burns required to, yeah, kinda just clean this up. It's open again. It's open soon. Now wants something for the right side. Perfect. Left side gets the long bar now. The Alex in the cleanup process as I just started. Like I said, and it's a long cleanup process, but I would say that he's playing this quite well. Like, he's not getting much higher, he's playing pretty efficient here. It's just, you know, you still need to wait for the pieces. And this has allowed Mörkös to get a small lead, and it is 406 against 455. So Mörkös is at by around about a 2 Tetris lead. And also not getting a long bar here. Now next long bar Tetris to Mörkös, next long bar Tetris to Alex. Alex just now one line away from being clean once again. And yes, that flag is incorrect. It should be Finland. I totally FI, exactly. Totally forgot that we have flags here. This should not be the correct flag. If it's not, then all of the Nordic flags kind of look the same to me. I should know what they are, but I will admit I don't. One of them that I can differentiate is Estonia's, because it's, you know, not the cross, but all of the cross countries kind of look the same to me. Okay, 505 against 556. Both players just around about a Tetris away from the transition here. And I assume that we will get 2 clean transitions here. We might get 2 transitions that are burned, but no, here's 515 and 582 transition, but yeah, Alex was able to get the next Tetris here, so it's 536, 583, 60k lead, which is like a 2.5 to 3 Tetris lead here for Mörkös. So nice lead for Mörkös here in the transition. And let's see what these players will be able to do on level 19. As I said, they are, but they should be at least pretty used to level 19. And we can see Mörkös playing a bit more aggressive here than Alex, as Alex has a lot of cleanup to do in level 19 here. Doesn't really fall behind in points that much, because, you know, Mörkös doesn't get the chances for Tetris. But yeah, now Alex could burn using a Tetris, or I could dig using a Tetris, I guess. But the long bar does finally come, I want to say. Doesn't really come. Early shift of that O piece for Mörkös, doesn't get death for the next long bar, which means there's now a bit of an ugly situation here on Mörkös' side. But he does get the pieces that he needs, and he can now start his own cleanup. Point was it is 663 against 706. Mörkös is open once again. So it is now down to around about a 1.5 Tetris lead here for Mörkös. As we are on level 23. We only will play until level 29 realistically, as then the speed is so fast that these players can't reliably get pieces over to anywhere on the board. And yeah, now Alex is waiting for a bar, does decide to go for some safety burns. But the center is getting high, the right side is getting a bit hard to access, the left side now needs to clean up, not getting the LPs over on Alex's side, which leads to the top out, which means Mörkös is able to get the first game here. And it is now 1-0 for Mörkös, so Mörkös, feel free to top out, you have just won the first game here. You can, of course, play up until level 29 if you want to, or you can top out. It's only like 3 levels left to go, so maybe a minute of gameplay. And yeah, well played here by Alex. Was able to stay close to Mörkös for pretty much all game until he topped out at level 24. Oh, and now Mörkös also topping out here. So well played here by both players. And the next seed, you know, we will increase the first 2 characters, meaning instead of 5-1, we will now play 6-2, then A2, A4. And let's hope that the rest of level of this match will be as amazing as this first game was. In total, we will play a best of 6, meaning up to 6 games. If you win 4 games, you have won the match. If both of you win 3 games, then you get a draw. Okay, the players are ready. Let's start the next game here. It's gonna be one more. 3, 2, 1. Tetris. If you win a match, then you get 3 points towards the standings. When you get a draw, you get 1 point per player. And if you lose, then of course you don't get anything. Yeah, that's how it works here in Champions League, Europa League and Conference League. Kinda inspired by the, I believe it's UEFA football or soccer, depending on where you're from. Something I don't know that sport, so take it with a bit of a grain of salt what I'm saying here. It's just, I don't watch any, or like, actually true, I watch Tetris, but I don't watch any, let's call it a real life sport. Unless you, for example, count rallying. I do watch a bit of rally because it's fun to see cars crash, essentially. That's my main reason. But yeah, Mörkös has been a long cleanup so far. Point-wise, it is 91 here, 93 for Alex against 30, now 40k here for Mörkös. So yeah, huge lead here for Alex. Mörkös is able to get a cannon, 3 Tetris too high. And next Tetris to Alex as well. These Tetrises, I would say, are quite important here for these players. Especially Mörkös, because you need to play as efficient on 18 as possible. And due to the speed on 18, you can generally play pretty aggressive. And yes, Hannes, something like that, I butcher names. That is a Christmas tree in February on Alex's side. But I feel like it's also a bit of a flower-styled tree, you know, you have these big white flowers on Alex's side. So maybe it's no longer a Christmas tree, it's now a getting close to spring tree. Like there's flowers that start blooming around now. So maybe it's inspired by that instead. Okay, next set was here to Mörkös into 161 against now next set was for Alex into 252. Small missteps here on Alex's side is gonna require a bit of cleanup. Also a few lines burnt here on Mörkös' side. Let's see how many it will be for both players. I mean, Alex can go for Tetris here, but he still hasn't cleaned up the mess that he has. In theory, it's only like 4 to 5 burns here on Alex's side, and only one more here, or like a few more here on Mörkös' side. 282 for Alex against 194 here for Mörkös, which means we still have around about 90k or nearly a 4 Tetris lead here for Alex, as we're now at about halfway done or at level 18. And yeah, Alex on a 600k projection currently. Mörkös would be in a 400k projection, but of course he should be able to play much more aggressive here in the second half of level 18, as he doesn't have any rich cleanup to do. Alex also once again getting a bit higher here, but as these players, well, I can't say as these players don't normally use dash, as both players just dash a couple of times in the last game. I believe I saw it twice on Mörkös' side and twice on Alex's side. Yeah, so if you use dash, then it's pretty much just that when you press the button, you have the first press is a bit delayed to compare to the second press. So it's like, let's say 6 frames for the first press, 10 frames waiting time for the second, and then 6 all the way. Kind of on a keyboard, and when you keep dash, you kind of ignore the wait time in between the first and second press. And yeah, when you lose that, it's just much harder to play the pieces. I'm just saying, I thought I would log in on studying tonight, but I can't pass up on this matchup. I mean, you can study while watching Tetris a bit, depending on what you have to study. I don't know what you have to study, but in many cases Or you can have like Tetris up on the one screen, and like, for example, I did some chemistry in university, and there I could just kind of watch stuff on the sides, because most of the things that I had to do, for example, were about experiments. I guess that's not really studying, but yeah, that didn't require 100% of my focus. Okay, we are now getting close to level 19 speeds, when the speed will roughly double. Alex at 510 against 450-60 on Mörkös' side. So there's not a big lead here now for Alex. The lead was like 90k earlier, now it's down to about 50-60k. Next set was to Mörkös. Mörkös also has played a few lines more. That also comes into play when we talk about leads. Not the same lines, it is 540 against 480, so about a 60k lead here for Alex. And Heptor is saying, too, I'm mostly reviewing study slides. Yeah, I would say when it comes to that, you can kind of do both. Of course, then you don't learn that much, but it does depend. Of course, also in the studying slides and all of that here. 566, 530, so it's just a tiny lead here in the transition for Alex, actually. So Mörkös was able to get close. Nicely done here by Mörkös. Alex now needs to clean up a bit here in level 19, which might even allow Mörkös to pull ahead when it comes to the points. But yeah, Alex is open once again. Was only a small burn here, and we have a simul Tetris into 622 against 609. So we only have about a 1 Tetris lead here for Alex now. And both players are Tetris ready, Longbar and Tetris for both of them. And thanks for the follow. I'm gonna butcher the name once again. I would call it Koyorina. It's probably pronounced differently. But yeah, 654, 668. So Mörkös had the lead there for a few seconds, but he's played about a Tetris now, worth in lines more. And Rina is saying, no, that's correct. Perfect. Because I can't pronounce the English R properly. I know it's done in theory, but it's... I mean, you can hear my accent. I'm German, and our R is just pronounced pretty differently. Which is why I guess you can say it rolling the R, generally speaking. Just makes it easier for me to pronounce it. So yeah, now Alex burning a bit more once again. It's just a few lines here. It's, in theory, it's not that much that he has to do, but he just doesn't get the nice pieces that he needs. Now, nice long wood here on Mörkös' side, getting the next Tetris now. Yeah, and Alex is now higher and higher in the stack. Needs something for his climb to 3. Long one, not the best, not the worst. Overshifts that L piece, I believe. Needs now something for the left side. He doesn't get anything for the left side. Tops out at 756, which means congratulations, Mörkös. You were able to win your second game now. It is now 2-0. And this means that Mörkös is getting closer to winning and putting a bit of pressure here on LXT's shoulders. Of course, LXT is a well-experienced Tetris player, so I doubt that he is really feeling any of the pressure. But yeah, it looks like Mörkös is just trying to show us a casual max out, but didn't quite get the TPs to where it needs to be, so now a bit of digging. Without that digging, I would have been like, oh yeah, should be a max out for Mörkös, but this is now looking like a survival position here on his side. And now getting the next Tetris into 977. This is still going to require Tetris, but he is nearly open again. Should be able to get open for the Tetris. Maybe, or he's just building on top of this. I would say if you want to go for the max out, you have to build on top of this now. Let's see if Mörkös does get the pieces required. Okay, he plays as aggressive as he has to. No, he didn't. Oh, he did. Okay, Tetris to Mörkös. And max out for Mörkös as well. Amazingly well played here. I thought there that Mörkös required the world to be one higher, but no, it was perfectly done. So GG's Mörkös for winning and getting the comp max out here. And yeah, Scepter is saying, what was the last Tetris setup? I have absolutely no idea. But hey, I don't need to know how it was done as long as it worked out. Okay, so next up is gonna be the seed 7-3. And Mörkös Yeah, if he wins one more game, he has a guaranteed point for the standings. Both players are ready, so let's start the next match here in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So Mörkös has started. Alex is not listening properly. Alex, you have started the game. He was doing his Rubik's Cube kind of thingy here. Was it like a 2x2? It looked like a 2x2 Rubik's Cube to me. You know, there's many weird Rubik's Cubes from like 2x2 up to what looks like 36 by 36, maybe even bigger. Oh, I've once seen a nice YouTube video where basically an AI solved a virtual 100 by 100 Rubik's Cube. Like, you can scale them infinitely, it's just that at some point they do become impractical to handle by hand. Next set was, you know, to Mörkös, and for Alex, you have 68 against 69. A few points here on Mörkös' side, so Mörkös has played a Tetris more in lines. Yeah, okay, Alex also now needs longer to set up the Tetris here. And next set was to both players. And we can see them kind of just waiting for the long bar. Mörkös now able to get the long bar in Tetris here, which means the Tetris that he played in lines earlier is kinda made up again, you could say. And Alex is just burning a bit more here. Next Tetris to Alex and Mörkös. They are one Tetris apart in lines, now two Tetrises apart in lines. And it is 118 against 163, so there's pretty much neck and neck between these two players. Next set was for LXT once again onto 142, and the next set was for LXT into 165 against 186. Mörkös needs to burn a few lines here once again, which might allow Alex to get ahead on level 18 here. Yeah, we can now see a tiny, like 340 lead here on Alex's side, so basically no lead. But yeah, even if... Okay, Alex gets the 2 spin, not the spin that you want. You generally want to actually get your spin. What I wanted to say is, as we saw earlier, even if LXT is able to get on level 19, at least today, LXT's level 19 survival is not quite up there. Generally, I feel like Alex, using Dessert's nice 19 gameplay, but today, he turned out kind of early twice, so don't know what's up with that. Okay, he did get the next piece over. The O piece was quite dangerously placed there. If he didn't have full death there, for example, that could have been it on Alex's side. Yeah, Mörkös is now burning a bit, doesn't get the O piece fully over, didn't matter too much for the next piece. And gets the tuck, nice. So Mörkös is open once again. Tetris to Mörkös, and on Alex's side we can see the building, the waiting for the long bar. Bit of a drought here currently on Alex's side, but does get the long bar. Tetris to Alex. Yeah, so far, once again, a pretty even game between these two players in points. In pace, LXT is ahead once again, of course, by 1.5 to 2 Tetrises. That's just because Mörkös played partly a bit safer and partly just had to burn more, you know. So it might once again come down to LXT's capabilities of playing 19 until the end. The end being up until level 29. And next set was here to Mörkös. Mörkös just already shifting that long bar, I want to say. Mörkös just adjusting a bit here on his side, which has led to the small overshift. But nothing major he can, or he should be able to nicely get out of that situation here. Alex needs to burn a few lines, is open, getting a long bar Tetris to Alex into 392 against 376 at about the same lines. And next set was here to Mörkös. We are at about 400k here for both players at 100 lines. So the 500 is still possible for these players, even if mid 500. And thanks Bipcha TV for joining there's Champions League or there's Tetris 1. Next Tetris here to LXT. Because if you like what you see, we have a Discord server being available at !Discord. And we also have a Matcherino. Matcherino. I can't type. Now Matcherino. Where you can donate to the prize pool so that these players will be nicely rewarded for their performance here in the league and playoff phases. And yes, Hepta is saying the way you prioritize safety is so good. Yeah, I mean, Mörkös is, I would say, generally speaking, one of the safer players. Of course, that I would assume is due to his PAL 19 knowledge. Where you just learn to play pretty much as safe as possible. Like, it's barely playable using Death, but you can't really play aggressive, and that's when you learn, okay, this is how to play properly safe. Because compared to NTSC 19, where you can still play a nice amount of, you know, points and Tetrises. Now Misdrop's here on Mörkös' side. He needs something for the right side. Pretty much a long bar for Mörkös. And the long bar doesn't go over Mörkös' side, which means Alex is finally able to win the first game. As I want to say, because in NTSC 19, you can still go for Tetrises, which is in this case led to the top on Mörkös' side due to yeah, missing or killing that piece. Okay, Alex, feel free to top out, you have won the game. Of course, you can also finish the game off by going for Wits. Wits no longer possible on Alex's side. You are level 21. And let's see how long it will take Alex. Okay, Alex is now, I would say, naturally topping out. I also like that Alex is generally just clapping, because it feels, you know, like such a nice way to be like, hey, well played, opponent. Even, you know, no matter if he wins or loses, it's just, to me at least, a kind way of playing Tetris. Okay, the seed is looking good on Alex's side. 8-4 is looking good on Mörkös' side as well. So let's start. The next countdown is gonna be one more. 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Also just realized that we got a new link from the Matcherino earlier from Boxy. How does it look? Does it look decent? It kind of looks decent. The only downside is that the Matcherino currently says $0, so we have to change that at some point. There should be once again a nice 500, so yeah, I posted the link earlier. Or like I had the Discord bot post the link earlier. Feel free to donate to our Matcherino to support the players. Feel free to use your Amazon or like Twitch Prime free subscription to support the restreamers. Feel free to donate bits. Well, is it actually donate bits? I believe bits do some fun stuff. I mean, on my own channel I have a setup that you can use text-to-speech using your channel points. Maybe we should do it that you can use text-to-speech for like, I don't know, 50 bits, which is like 50 cents. Many streamers have it for like €1 or, wait, $1 or a couple of dollars. That's actually a good point. Let's do a quick add, oops, incorrect window, so that I don't forget it. Add Boxy opinion on TTS for bits. Okay, Alex is in a bit of trouble here, needs to burn a few lines. Mörkös gets the next Tetris, is now ahead, it is 163 against 185, so yeah. Up until Alex got in troubles, they pretty much played the same efficiency. And now we get the next Tetris here on Alex's side, so point-wise neck and neck. And as Mörkös now needs to also burn a few lines, this should most likely mean that even in pace they're like the same. And thanks Colony for the follow. Yeah, 210, 211. There's like half a single difference in points. And yeah, next set is here on Mörkös' side after burning a few lines. Alex getting the long bar and Tetris to Alex, Tetris to Mörkös once again. Alex hit up, getting the long bar and a Tetris here to Alex into 256 against 258. Next Tetris for Alex into 279. And once again a massive pace here on Alex, for Alex here. Next Tetris to Mörkös. As we've seen in pretty much every game so far, you can be ahead by 100k at some point and still lose by topping out, by then playing a bit inefficient, stuff like that. So yeah, this level 18 generally feels like you're just trying to show your opponent what you can do. And yeah, Alex once again on a 600k pace. He has been on a 600k pace every single game, and you have yet to see a 600k on Alex's side, so let's see if he will be able to get that 600k. Next Tetris to Mörkös into 374. And next Tetris on Alex's side into 375. Same points now for these players. 367 200. Next Tetris going to Mörkös. Next Tetris going to Alex. Let's see how long these players will once again be in sync when it comes to their points. Especially because now it looks like there might be a bit of burning coming up here. At least on Mörkös' board, Alex's board. And maybe also, yeah. Okay, actually, Alex gets the burn, Mörkös gets the double. Which means Mörkös is now ahead by a Tetris, half Tetris against Alex. And as Senna's saying, interesting matchup. Yeah, it's... You know, Mörkös is one of the best Paldes players. Alex is one of the best NTSC roaders, and skill-wise I would say these are somehow pretty well matched when it comes to NTSC DES, at least in this specific game. And yeah, next set was now to Alex. It is 521 against 494. We can see Alex is set by about a Tetris here, but yeah, if we take the lines into consideration, it's neck and neck just between these players. Next Tetris to Alex. Also believe Alex is now ahead when it comes to the lines played for the first time this matchup. Okay, now Mörkös burning a few lines to maintain his stack health. Getting the next long one Tetris to Mörkös into 542. And one more Tetris here to Alex as well into 566. Okay, Mörkös having a nice burn setup. They only need to burn a single line. Of course, followed by a double. Here we can see... I would say on Mörkös' side, it feels like it's the just experience of playing DES for a long time on a high level. Next Tetris is here. Mörkös transitions at 615. Alex transitions at 639. So about a Tetris lead in the transition here for Alex. And let's see how the level 19 will now go for these players here. So far we have had an early top out from one of these players on every single game here. Like early 19 top out, I mean, not early in general. Yeah, Mörkös is getting higher, but he's now starting to be able to clean it up once again. It's only gonna be a few lines. If he wants to, he can now try to play one high, and it looks like Mörkös is trying to play one high. Doesn't get the long bar in time, which means he now needs something for the left side to burn. Does get the T piece over, perfect for the double, doesn't get the next S piece over. He now needs, okay, J piece flat, could maybe kind of work out, but no, he doesn't get the pieces required for the burn setup here, which means Mörkös tops out at 635. And we now have our beloved 222. So this is, as I said, this is a close matchup. First two games were won by Mörkös after a kinda early-ish top out. Like early 19. The next two games were won by Alex after two early 19 top outs for Mörkös. So again, Alex, you have won, but you're also in a pretty damn good pace. 816 on level 23. Let's see how. Okay, now the pieces. bit for not so nice here on Alex's side. Yeah, now the OP is... okay, it's falling apart. Alex helps out. At 8-18, it is, as I said, 2-2. And we will next up play the seed beginning with 9 5s. As Tanner is saying, PB will pace definitely. So this was nicely played on Alex's side, as I said. 9-5, 9-5. Well, see, this is looking good. So let's start the next game here in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Start by Mörkös, start by Alex. I mean, we're now guaranteed to see the full best of 6 here, as no matter what happens, we will have to see 2 more games. If one of these players is able to win the match, you know, get the 4 points, we will see both games. And if you get a draw, then we also will see both remaining games. Nice early Tetris here now on Mörkös' side. Next Tetris here for Alex. Have to ask me, what does the Jedi side of Tetris mean? It's a bit of a joke about, you know, in Star Wars you have the Jedis, the quote-unquote good people, and you have the Sith, the bad people. So it's kind of like, welcome to the good part of Tetris, or like the positive side of Tetris kind of joke. Maybe it's also about the Force, because it's like, may the Fourth be with you. So it's also about that, I guess. So yeah, just a bit of a Star Wars joke, which works especially well when Jedi Evan plays. It is 136 for Alex, it is 117 for Mörkös. What's the bad side of Tetris? I mean, I'm not sure if I should say that when Alex is here, but arguably the bad side of Tetris is rolling in this case. There's kinda, I would say, a meme about rolling, sucking, something like that. Okay, that is kind of funny to call death the positive side, when arguably toxic humor seems to only exist on the death side. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree on that. I guess it's a bit because many death players are like, rolling is now a thing, I have no longer a chance at major tournaments, something like that. But yeah, I appreciate rolling, dash, tapping, and whatever else is there. Currently it is 234 for Alex against 231 here for Mörkös. And I think it's an Adam MTS-ism. It's not only Adam, it's some other players as well. But yeah, all in all, most players just appreciate good Tetris. Doesn't matter if it's a death player, doesn't matter if it's a roller, doesn't matter if it's a tapper, or whatever playstyle I might have forgotten that I don't know about. Well, I mean, there's also the Moya tap, as we call it, because there's the player Moya who has his own interesting tapping styles, kinda a mix of rolling and tapping, the way that he does it. Alex is getting a bit of trouble, needs to clean this up. Okay, gets the JP's long bar. Alex is... yeah, this is a tough team of Alex's side. He doesn't get the pieces where he needs them to be. 25 for Alex, which means once again Mörkös is able to get a point. It is 3-2. Mörkös, feel free to top out. You've won the game. And yeah, now Mörkös is guaranteed to get at least 1 point here. And Hepta is saying Jesper's direct tapping. Yeah, that's also a thing, for example. So like, we have Death, rolling, tap as the major play styles. Okay, Mörkös, can you please just top out? We are early on level... yeah, kind of early on level 18. Yeah, bold tap. Yeah, there's many different variations of tapping, you could say. And we currently just count them as tapping, but if we want to be correct, we need to count them as like 5 different kinds of tapping at least. And we are now ready for the final game between Alex and Mörkös in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And I'm wondering why I didn't see the $10 contribution. Because I can see that there is now a 10. So thanks to Rina for the $10 contribution here. Happy to see that you enjoy DCL Champions League. And I'm saying, nah, it's just a different grip here. I mean, there's a ton of different grips in rolling, but they are all the same. In the end, it's just using your right or left hand to roll underneath the controller. Also, let me make sure that the next players know about the match coming up. You know, at least I always try to ping the next players when the match is supposed to start soon. Sharky, we are in the final game between Alex and Mörkös. Okay, now the next two players also know that they will probably play soon. Point-wise, it is now 95 for Alex against 50-60 for Mörkös, so Mörkös once again a bit behind here in the beginning. Rina asking what happens if this ends in a draw. So the way that Champions League works is that here in the league phase, the players play matches and get points on depending on how they perform the matchup. If you win, you get 3 points for the standings. If you lose, you get 0 points. And if you get a draw, then both players get 1 point. In the end of the league phase, so everyone has played 6 matches, I believe, you get ranked depending on how you performed. And the top, I believe it's top 8 players play in the playoffs. And when you play in the playoffs, then it's just a standard Tetris tournament. So here when they have a draw, then that just affects their standings in the end. They won't get the most possible points, but they will get a decent amount of points. Hepta saying, technically you need to only anchor your hand, so it's kinda mid-rolling, yeah. Talking about Jerpy. There Hepta was. But this is not rolling, this is dashing. It is 238 on Alex's side, 182 on Mörkös. Now getting the next long one Tetris into 205. Next long one Tetris for Alex here as well. So yeah, compared to the first games where at least one player was able to get a massive score potential into halfway of level 18, like 600k projections. This game looks a bit more tame. We are looking at like a 450k projection. Projection meaning that if you play the same efficiency now until the end, you're predicted pretty much to get a score of, in this case, I said 450, 500k. Whereas the pace is, if you play perfect from now on, you are, or like you would get a x 100k or x, yeah. Okay, 315, 299, next long one Tetris here now to Alex. And we are, you know, about 2/3 done of the final level 18. We can see that Alex is ahead by around about 2 Tetrises. Next long one Tetris here to Mörkös. And one more to Mörkös as well. Alex kinda high here. Not able to get the Tetris here. Or any Tetris using these 2 long bars. Is now waiting for the next bar. Closes, burns the well a bit. Closes the well here. Is now open once again. Waiting for the next bar. Where Hepta in the meantime. Hepta what? Well, Mörkös in the meantime was able to catch up and make it pretty much neck and neck. It is 379 against 379. Mörkös at by 300 points. Both players needing to clean a bit. I would say that Alex should be open sooner. But no, actually Mörkös was able to get open sooner because Alex doesn't get the required pieces. We can see Alex just 1 good piece away from being open once again. Okay, that TBs means 2 pieces, 2 lines. It is 388 for Alex against 403 here for Mörkös. And you can see the next Tetris to Mörkös. We are less than 20 lines, like 15 lines away from the transition here. Next Tetris to Mörkös, next Tetris to Alex. 437 against 454. So yeah, around about Tetris difference until the in points. And Alex could, both players can get the same amount of Tetrises now. But Alex would actually have a bit to burn, but it looks like he has to burn everything that he has. Yeah, 499 for Mörkös, and Alex's burn was a 486 transition. So half a Tetris difference when it comes to the level 19 simul Tetris here. Looks like both players were able to get a clean transition. Hannah saying, the playstyle in motion is the same, you are just gripping the controller different. It would be like categorizing vertical grip as different from this. Yeah, pretty much. That's why as long as the general movements that you do are not different, it's all just rolling. Because there's like... How many rolling players do we have? Because you have that many different grips, pretty much. Okay, Mörkös was able to widen the lead a bit, but it looks like the lead is now getting potentially smaller as you have a drought, but more importantly as you have Mörkös being a bit dirty, not Tetris ready in the cleanup process here. Here's now the long bar for both players, but Alex was able to use it for Tetris, whereas Mörkös had to use it for burn. It is 586 against 589, 590, so there's just a few thousand points in between these two players. Mörkös getting the pieces that he needs to burn, but of course he's still high here. Needs something for the 1, 2, 3, gets something for the long bar here, okay. Gets the opposite over, but Mörkös is getting a bit higher here now. This long bar does not go over, which means Mörkös stops out at 528. Alex does get the next single here, and you have a 3-2-3, meaning we have a draw between Alex and Mörkös. Well played here by both of these players. Yeah, also Hannah saying so many ties this season. I actually haven't taken that deep of a look at the match recordings, but I believe we had... Didn't you have like the... I felt like one stream where we had only draws. So yeah, a ton of draws that we currently have. So yeah, GG's to both players here. You played well. And now that I've reported the match, let's take a quick look at our current standings here. I hope that this is now updated. And we can see LXT is in the top 8. And Mörkös is currently at place number 3. Funny how they have like the same points. Yeah, it's the same points, okay. Saying like, oh,